Welcome to the next Q&A for Trauma Healing and Life Counseling. In this video, I will answer question 41. Dear Gopal, thank you for the possibility to ask a question. I get overwhelmed by the gaze of men in work and relationships, on the street, everywhere. If it is not possible to leave the situation immediately, there is so much pressure in me that when I am alone again, I run, I scream, I beat like a crazy tantrum. When I'm finally back to my senses, I wonder what this was all about. It is very exhausting for my body, and lately it just collapses and I have tissue pain, probably not being able to work anymore again. In honest sharing, I shared the feelings of rage and helplessness, but it helped only when I sat with more distance. What is the way out of this hell? Yes, the way out of this hell is to find a trauma therapist and to work directly person to person on this issue. It's not about getting some tips or tricks how to deal with that. You need a profound trauma therapy for that. At least this is my suggestion for your situation. And nevertheless, I will explain everything that you describe so that you get the context and get some more understanding what's going on there. But to solve that, you need really the experience of a deep, safe relationship. Otherwise, you will not experience a change in this, what you describe. So what's going on? You're right. I get overwhelmed by the gaze of men in work and relationships, on the street, everywhere. So this is a trigger. That's what we call a trigger. And what is going on is that your nervous system has deeply connected certain central imprints with danger, and in your case, most probably even with life threat. But this connection is not necessarily true all the time. Most of the time, it is not true. It's in fact the opposite. Yeah. If we look into a friendly face of a man, this actually creates some positive states in the body, because from our nature as mammals, we need contact and relationships. This is what our body, our physiology really needs. But in your case, your body, your subconscious has connected it with a life threat, or at least a great danger. So that means that in your past, most probably in the early childhood, because you do not mention any remembrance according to that, so I assume it happened very early in your life, that your body, your system, you as a child experienced something very dangerous, something very bad, even life-threatening. And at the same time, you saw the face of a man, the gaze of a man. And this maybe several times, yeah, and this is what the body, or the brain, we could say the nervous system, has connected because of these deep experiences. And it is not solved. What has happened there, it is not integrated. So the system produces the state again and again, yeah, until it is resolved. So and what is happening there? The imprints over the eyes trigger the physiological state of danger in the body. That's what you describe. Then you create distance, which is what is very good. You say, if it is not possible to leave the situation immediately, so this is the best what you can do, actually. This is also what I would recommend. That's what I always recommend by discharging a trigger, is first to immediately leave the situation. That's what you already write. If this is not possible, then you write, you create so much pressure, or there's so much pressure, and then when I am alone, I run, scream, beat, and so on. So exactly, yeah. If you can leave the situation, leave it immediately. Very good. If not, this has to be questioned, because you can always leave the situation, almost always. Yeah, almost always. You can even in the middle of a meeting stand up and leave the room without saying anything. It is basically possible. Yeah, almost all the times. Maybe not in an elevator, for example, for a few seconds. So if this is not possible, then what happens is that the body brings up all the energy for fight and flight. But you don't do anything. So you don't use this energy. Of course, it doesn't make sense because there's no danger on the outside anymore. Of course. So you hold that, and the activation gets more and more, and you have to suppress it more and more. And then when you are alone, and that means you are in a more safe situation, in a more safe place, then the security is there that the body at least can act parts of this energy out. Because you write, I run, I scream, I beat. This is acting out the energy. Yeah, this is the first step. It's good that this happens. Yeah, otherwise you would maybe collapse into depression or dissociation and so on. So this is not bad what you write, but it's not yet the solution. Just for the understanding what's going on there. So there's a trigger. This is what you write, the gaze of men. Yeah. This is the trigger for starting the body state, which is a state of the body in a highly dangerous situation. This is the body state that's being triggered by that. And then you deal with the situation as good as possible, and you run away and you act it out the energy a little bit. So great. So not bad. This saves you from even more distorted states of the autonomous nervous system. Then you write, when I'm finally back to my senses, I wonder what this was all about. Yeah, exactly. What you write is, that means that the cortical functions, mainly the prefrontal cortex, gets online again. So the body is out of the survival state of fight and flight. Yeah, that's what you write, back to my senses. And yes, the mind wonders what this was all about. Yeah, the mind cannot understand this because the whole stuff is done by deeper layers. The mind has nothing to do with it. It is out of control of the mind. That's what you experience. This is always the case when the system is triggered. That's called bottom-up hijacking, by the way. Yeah. Deeper layers of the brain hijack higher layers, more conscious layers. And it's not a bad thing, because in a dangerous situation, it is good that it is like that, because the cortical functions are far too complex and slow. So deeper, more animal-like levels act. So your mind, your conscious mind, is disabled for a few seconds. The body brings you out of the situation. You survive, and then the frontal cortex comes back online again. So this is just nature, and it's good. It's great. The only problem is if this state is in situations where there is no danger, and the gaze of men is not a danger. No, it is not. So the body state doesn't make any sense, and that's what's creating the suffering. Yeah, then you write, in honest sharing, I shared the feelings of rage and helplessness. Very good, very good, exactly. But it helped only when I sat with more distance. Yeah, exactly. More distance means more safety. Yeah, but the danger is not there. So you create distance for a projected danger, but nevertheless, it's good to do that. So that means you create distance, and that means your frontal cortex can remain online, and you can stay in the contact. Yeah, your system doesn't go offline. So this is also great what you write. In the end, the solution has to be in a relationship. It is always the same. The solution can only be found in a relationship, in a deep relationship, because this is what creates the most security for our autonomous nervous system. What you describe so far is just the way to deal with it, which is very good. Yeah, this is exactly how you deal with it. Yeah, it's great, but it's not yet the solution. So what is the solution? So the solution is not on the level of getting tips and tricks how to deal with that. No, this will not solve it. What you need is a therapy. And what does that mean, therapy? Therapy means you go to a therapist maybe once a week, physically, or maybe with Zoom or Skype, so you also have the distance. And you start connecting with that therapist over a longer period of time, so that your whole system realizes that this man or this woman is not a danger for me. And when this has been established, when you have a stable relationship to this therapist, then you can work on the trigger. That means you work with the therapist directly on this trigger, because you have a basis of a deepened relationship, and this allows you to approach this dangerous state. It's not dangerous anymore, but for your body in that relationship. Yeah, so you get two things together: the security, and at the same time you move a little bit into this dangerous or projected dangerous area, and then you go back, so that you slowly realize, and your body, it's not your mind. Your mind knows that a gaze of a man is not dangerous, but the body didn't get it up to that point. But if you do that in the therapy, your body really understands. It really reaches the body that such a gaze is no danger, and then the body can relax. And this will separate the imprints of the gaze and the body state for fight and flight. And the result is that the body can stay relaxed and at the same time perceive the gaze of a man. So we could also say that what happens is your body just gets stressed by that. And the result of the therapy is that you can look in the face of a man and your body will remain relaxed, because it has understood that such a gaze is no life threat. So this is what happens in a therapy, and you need to look for a therapist that has enough knowledge and training for such things like TRE, like somatic experiencing, NARM, yeah, and look for a therapist as long as it is necessary. And what you can do additionally is, whenever this happens, force yourself in a way to check the environment if you are in danger. So for example, if that happens, immediately look somewhere else, out of the window, on the floor, somewhere else immediately, and check consciously the environment. If there is right now a danger for your life, constantly checking that, really objective examining the environment. If you are in danger right now, yeah, this also helps to get imprints of safety into the system during this activations. But there's no way to solve that other than a real therapy. Yeah, it's almost impossible to do that on your own without professional help. So really, I would recommend to find a good therapist for that.